We'll now hear some remarks from our headline sponsor, that's Identity Management Systems 2. It is actually a subsidiary of Margins ID Group. Our speaker is James Cantamantu-Koomson. He's Executive Director of IMS II, our headline sponsor for today. James is an accomplished and visionary leader who plays a pivotal role in guiding the company's growth and shaping its long-term objectives. Under his leadership, IMS has achieved notable milestones, including a 90% success rate in biometrically registering both citizens and non-citizens into Ghana's national ID system, and the setting of new benchmarks for data accuracy and security, contributing meaningfully to Ghana's digital transformation and national development goals. His extensive experience, innovative approach, and commitment to excellence have positioned him as a thought leader in identity management solutions and a key driver for transformation in the industry. Today, James will speak to the bigger story behind identity and Africa's institutional infrastructure, and will share the practical opportunity for UK-based Ghanaian and African nationals to register for their Ghana ECOWAS card on site today. Please join me in welcoming on stage Mr. James Cantamantu-Koomson.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. When my name is mentioned, well, it happened to me at the airport when I was coming through in Cantamantu, and the woman asked me, "Do you own Cantamantu?" It is actually the Cantamantu that you know. It's Cantamantu-Koomson. It actually has a meaning, but you have to see me afterwards to tell you what it means. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, what Lucy has created is creating the power of the diaspora. What does that mean? The diaspora means you are connected to something like home. How do we create that connection? How do we make it work? How do we make it such that it's not just sentiments that we spew, but it's actually structured engagement with the continent and what we do? In doing that, you have to create that identity to the continent back home. You need to create that identity to the people and the systems back home. Make sure they work. Because if they don't work, despite your best effort, it makes it very difficult for you to connect properly. And that's what identity management systems, through our parent group, the Margins ID Group, has sought to create. That's what we are trying to create, that gap for you to be able to relate back to the mother, because you need to have that identity that I am Ghanaian. This is a Ghana story. But the good thing is that what Margins is now creating is not just a Ghana story. It's an African story. It's an international story. We are bringing this technology across the continent. We've changed the narrative from Africa being consumer of technology to being creators of technology. Because we can do it. It's a bold new normal. It should be normal that we are able to create solutions for the rest of the world to see what we are doing. Not only just because we have to go to them and say, "Can you help me?" They have to come to us and say, "Can you help us?" So my short time that I have this morning is to tell you the whole Ghana card story in a very summarized version of it. I won't take the whole day because I can talk to you for 1 month about the Ghana card. So I'm very proud of it. So let me first tell you a little bit about who we are, the Margins ID Group. This is a story 35 years in the making. Started with a brainwave of an idea by our founder, Moses Baden, who thought identity is going to be something of the future. And he just didn't think it, but looked at how can we create that identity to make it happen. He saw a vision up ahead and decided to act on it. And it's creating this, not, like I said, not just for Ghana, but creating an identity system structured across the whole continent. So IMS, Identity Management Systems, was birthed out of that dream. 35 years in the making, moved into identity management systems. And identity management systems, it says two there because there are two parts of it. It's two subsidiaries. First one was done to register foreigners within Ghana. The second one was done to register Ghanaians in Ghana and the diaspora. But that story won't be complete if I don't take the time to introduce my co-pilot. The Executive Secretary of the National Identification Authority is here with me, Mr. Wisdom Kwekudeku. Because IMS II was created as an SPV in a public-private partnership with the government through the NIA to create the identity infrastructure and the backbone of all that we do, digitize everything that we do for the country. So the Ghana card is a system that, through that PPP, the technical partner being IMS, designed it, built it, financed it, and operating over a set period for the country. Now, this is something I think you should put your hands together for. It's a system that I am proud of. It's a system that I was very happy to move back home to Ghana to go and work with Moses to make sure it works. Because we designed it, we built it, and it works in Ghana. That's the beauty of the thing. When we go out to conferences and we speak, they expect to see a lot of foreign people amongst us. Every single person within IMS and the margin. Africa, oh, yeah. Africa, oh, Africa, oh. We can do it, and we are doing it. So we do it to the highest level of certifications because we are not just playing in the local territory. We want that respect. So we seek to have all the necessary certifications that are there because it's easy for that. If it's in Africa, it's not going to work. So that certification that the outside companies will have, we have it. All the ISO certifications you can think of, we have it. Just to prove that it's a system that we can rely on. It's a system akin to what they have out in the Western world, in the Eastern world, whichever world, north, south, east, whichever one you wanted. It's an international platform that we have. So my mission at this conference really is to tell you, how do you create that identity as the people of the diaspora to the country back home? And that's what I'm going to try to do. Short time. So what's the challenge? They say that to every engineering problem, there's an engineering solution. Maybe it just hasn't been found yet. So there was an identity challenge. Over 3 million Ghanaians work outside of the borders of Ghana. 3 million. That's those that you can actually officially document, because I believe there are more. Yet many remain invisible to the structures that we have back home. Why? Because they can't be recognized per se in Ghana. When you're outside and you're trying to do something back home, there's always a challenge as to, are you Ghanaian? How do I know? How do I effect this structure for you? How do you even plug back home into the socioeconomic structure that is back home? How do you do it? There was a gap, and that was a challenge. How do we bridge that gap? So in structuring the identity system that we have, it was meant not just for those in Ghana, but for the citizens who are in the diaspora as well. What it does is that gap means that there's a financial exclusion that happens. There are a lot of, Lucy mentioned a figure, anything from 6.65 to 8 billion on the average is the level of remittances that go back home. But it's so informal and it makes it costly. I don't know how many of you have had to send money to the grandmother or grandfather back home or to a mother, but you have to pass it through somebody. You have to call the person 2 weeks later. Or you have to call them 6 weeks later. Has the person arrived? The person's name is this. And then it gets lost in the system because there's no trusted way of sending it back. You may want to contribute to the continent, but there was a gap. How do we bridge that gap? Civic responsibilities. Ghana is now talking about allowing voting, proxy voting, and I think it's something that's probably going to happen, hopefully in the next election, I'm not sure. How do we make sure that you as a Ghanaian living in diaspora is able to connect back home? It's starting from the Ghana story, but it's no longer a Ghana story. We're talking about the diaspora in all of the continents. Because as we speak, we are just about to roll out the ID systems, that's Margin's group, for at least actualization, at least 2 countries now, that is happening. We are actually in about 7 different countries. We are trying to create the same thing across the continent, not just in Ghana. Not just in Ghana. So it's a story. When I say Ghana, I think translate it into your mind and say Africa. Just have that in mind. That is not just a Ghana story. I'm just using Ghana as an example. So that's the challenge that we have. Data fragmentation. I know how many of you may have done something with one government system or the other in the country, yet when you have to go back, you have to provide the same level of information to another entity, same government system, and they go back a third time, and they see and you wonder, but I gave you this the last time. Why can't we have this? Why can't, like here, when you put in your national, what's it called, NI number, connects you to everything. I still file my tax returns, my UK-based tax returns, and I still have to use my NI number because it connects me to everything. Why can't we create the same thing in the continent? That data, the silo data nature of the data that we have, created fraud and risk. Next time you are aware, someone is using your information, someone is using your data, and is doing something. Because the systems are not talking to each other, they get away with it. So that was a challenge. So that gave birth to the national ID system, the Ghana card as you know it, and how it's going to help us to create that single verifiable identity that you and I can sit here and be comfortable that I'm doing something back home, but I trust the process that is going through. It works, and I don't have to worry about it. Within this, what the Ghana card does is that it creates the credentials for you to sit back and know that it is me and it's I who initiated this transaction, because it is biometrically based. And with that, I'm proud to say that we're actually way ahead of other countries. We are ahead of the US. I'll put my head out there and say it. We are ahead of the UK. I'll put my head out there and say it. Because our ID system is biometric based. When you fill forms out here, you just put in your NI number. In Ghana, it's different. You have to produce your biometrics. Because there's a reason why when I got to Heathrow, I was asked to put my thumb on that reader. Because your biometric is the one sure way that they will know that it is you. So we've developed our system to be such that credibility that we need is based on you as a person. Not a signature that someone can forge, not a picture that someone with AI you can superimpose. Because as we speak, someone can put another person's face right now. It will be that person standing here making that speech. It won't be me. But when you have the biometric proof, then you know it is you. That's the system that we have built. Thank you. So what does the Ghana card unlock for you? Like I said, the flows from the diaspora back home. It ensures that the one sending is the one sending, the one receiving it is the one receiving it. Bank of Ghana, based on the Ghana card that has been built in July 2022, made it mandatory that every transaction, not some transaction, every financial transaction should be based on a biometric verification using the Ghana card. The reason why is that they want to know who is actually doing it and who is actually receiving it. So you can now sit here and now go to a money transfer agency, whichever one that you want to use, and know that it is you receiving and the person you sending and the person receiving it is the right person to do it. Obviously, yes, there's a matter of a rollout. The Bank of Ghana has actually worked assiduously to enforce those regulations. And by the end of, I think by end of this month, Executive Secretary, there's an LI being passed in Parliament as we speak. I think it will mature next week, which makes it mandatory that every transaction that identity is required. The Ghana card has to be biometrically used, not ocular inspection, not photocopying it. Actually, Executive Secretary has now laid a bill to make it's illegal to actually do a photocopy. So if you come home and someone asks you to do a photocopy of it, you can say no. Because once they do your photocopy, only God knows where that photocopy is going to end up. Only God knows what it's going to be used for. But when you are there and it's your biometric, it's you. And no one else, unless they cut off your hand. Hopefully not. And use it for something else. Property and land. How many people have had to send money through someone who has to buy land for you, register in their name because you are not in Ghana? You have to do it in your name. Next time you are aware, it's being willed to their grandchild and it's no longer in your name. You've sent money for buildings to be built. It happened to a friend of mine, and he had been sending money for land to be bought and a building to be built somewhere in Pram Pram. When he showed us the picture of what had been built, it was like some small KVIP building that had been done. We are trying to change that now. Right now, as we speak, DVLA has been fully integrated into the Ghana card system. You can sit here in the UK, buy a car, ship it to Ghana, and register it in your name in Ghana. You don't need to go through an agent who registers the car in their name because you are not there to sign. And next minute, you're not even sure where the car is. Why? Because we've developed a system where onto DVLA's system, you just have to do a facial biometric verification. It sees that it is you, Lucy, and it registers the vehicle in your name without you necessarily having to be in Ghana. And that is cutting across land, as in all property. Everything that you as a diaspora need to connect back to the motherland. E-government services. The Office of the Registrar of Companies is making it mandatory now that for every business, any business owner registering any new business has to be done with the Ghana card. So irrespective of whether you're in the UK, in the US, in Belgium, or wherever, you have to biometrically register. So that business is not registered in someone else's name. When we went around Europe to educate people on the Ghana card, we met a man in The Hague, in Netherlands. And he came and he was excited because he's into car dealerships and he sends cars back home. So there's a bank manager in Ghana or a branch manager in Ghana who, because he's not there, controls his money, controls his car registration. So even then, he had to call him to find out, so can you send money into this account so that they can pay for I mean, everything of his is being controlled by somebody else, not him. Not him. Because he's not physically present. Registrar of Companies is making it such that every business owner, every director has to be biometrically identified, irrespective of where you are. So then the system is international. You can sit here, do a facial recognition, biometric thing, goes back home, does exactly the same thing as if you were sitting in Accra doing it, to bridge that gap. So please, come home and come and set up your business. We made it easy for you. It's yours and it's yours. The business will be in your name and nobody else's name. To file your tax returns, everything is going to be biometrically based. Travel. You've heard it. I'm sure you've heard it several times. Some people have been very skeptical about it. Can I use a Ghana card to travel? Actually, the Ghana card that we have built is ahead of its time. Why do I say that? Because it's been made and it contains a PKI. Okay, let me break it down. I don't mean to use PKI. What can I say? Ghana's digital certificate, which basically authenticates that this is an actual document that is approved by the government of Ghana. So yes, it is recognized at over 44,000 airports. The Ghana card can be read by all these airports. So can you use it to travel? Yes, you can use it to travel back home to Ghana because you are going home. It's your proof of identity. It's who you are. Yes, I am Ghanaian. I may hold a British passport, but I am Ghanaian. I'll come to that very shortly as to what is the eligibility, and I'll come to that very shortly. Yes, you are Ghanaian, so you can go back home to it. So people have asked, so if you say, why can't I travel out of Ghana, let's say to the UK, and I can just use my Ghana card? Well, we are ahead of our time. The only thing that most governments have built identification around passports, the book-based passports. So the Ghana card is ready to receive e-visas, is ready to receive visas and permits and everything being written onto the card ahead of its time. But countries are not ready to do that yet. ICAO, as we speak, is engaging all countries to allow that to happen. Ghana is ready. We are ahead of them. So when you hear that, can Ghana card be used for travel? Yes, we are ready for it to be used to travel. But at least for now, you can use it to travel back home to Ghana. At least as a Ghanaian, you don't need to go to the High Commission people are here to get a visa. Because you've got a Ghana card. I am Ghanaian. Why do I need a visa to go back? So with your Ghana card, we had a town hall session, I think 2 nights ago. And one person asked that when I come to Ghana and I have my Ghana card, would they allow me to enter? Yes, they will allow you to enter. Yes, you may have your British passport with you, but with your Ghana card as well, you don't need to have a visa in your British passport. You can come home, you just use it, and we develop an e-gate system, just like they have here in Heathrow. You put your Ghana card on it, it allows you access, checks it against the watch list. If you're not there, hopefully none of you is on that watch list, it allows you to enter, and there you are back home. So yes, it is fit for travel. And like I say, cheaper remittances. Now I keep on hammering on remittances because I don't know how many people have been scammed on remittances. Happened to my mother-in-law, where, I think some of them, they give you a number, and you use the number to go and say, and the household she was living with, smart enough to pick up that number, pick up a phone, go and whatever, and withdraw all that money. That changes. That changes. So that's what the Ghana card is unlocking for you. And that's what is making it easy for you. And there are a lot more services that are going to come onto it as we continue to develop. Because the identity is a foundational thing that you need in every development that you are going to do. So we keep on developing, working with the NIA and the government, we keep on developing, adding on more services to it, making it easier. The financial services sector is more or less fully integrated as we speak. Now without the Ghana card, your national health insurance system is linked up onto it. We are integrating across all the various services within the country. Now, what's the eligibility criteria? It's based on your Ghanaian citizenship, not necessarily where you live. Not where you live. So this one is got in two parts, right? You live here, born and bred here, but you can prove your Ghanaianship, if I can put it that way. You qualify for it. Whether you live here or you live abroad, you qualify for it. So citizenship, according to our laws, is by birth, by your descent. The Ghana citizenship law says that if you can trace your linkage to a parent or a grandparent, so it doesn't mean both parents, it doesn't mean both grandparents, a parent is Ghanaian, then you qualify to be a Ghanaian. That's very important because we get a lot of questions around that. I have a British passport, but your mother is Ghanaian. I have a British passport, but your grandparent is a Ghanaian. Yes, you do qualify. So your links to the diaspora is already built. So let's feel the power of the diaspora. Come home. Let's feel you. Yeah? You can also qualify citizenship by naturalization. Some people you go through the necessary processes that allows you to be granted citizenship when you meet all the necessary criteria that is there. Ghana law actually recognizes dual citizenship. So yes, you are British, but you're also allowed to be a Ghanaian. So it doesn't exclude you. Some countries do, for example, I think the Netherlands does, Spain does, where you are not allowed to, but the UK does. Most countries that have actually scrapped that. I think Germany was the last person to drop it, where they now allow dual citizenship. So you can, for those who have questions as to, but I already have a British passport, Ghana law allows you to have dual citizenship, so it's not an issue. We are interested in you being a Ghanaian. Your links to the motherland as a Ghanaian. Your British passport is nice to hold, but we are interested in you as a Ghanaian. Come and talk to us as Ghanaians. That's what we are interested in. And what's the difference between that and then the passport? The Ghana card sets up you as that identifies you as a person, linking you to your citizenship back home. So if we are talking about the power of the diaspora and wanting them not to be in sentiments alone, but actual plans for them to go back home and do something, then this is what empowers you to pick up your bags and say, I want to contribute to the success story that is Ghana, the success story that is the African continent, the success story that is those of African heritage across the continent. So they feel our impact. That landmass, when I saw the landmass picture you put at the Lucia, it's sad, right? It's sad. I mean, the whole map has been drawn such that when you see the actual maps, Africa seems to be like some small portion of it. We are bigger than any of the countries that are out there that we depend on, if I can put it that way, that we depend on. So what's that process? Let me quickly run through the process. I've got a lady holding up a nice sign that says 5 minutes. I'm going to run through very quickly. So what have we done? The Ghana card system, as we started it, when we started registration in Ghana, you needed to go to the registration centers, you fill out the forms, you go through you go through all the forms. We've made it simpler for you. We've digitized the whole process. So now you can sit in the comfort of your home, 6 very easy processes, and you can register for your Ghana card. So the first part is to get onto any URL, type in register.nia.gov.gh. That brings you, the landing page is the NIA, National Identification Authority's landing page. We've created so that you can sit home and do it. When you get home from work and you're tired, put your feet up whilst you're listening to ITV News and start filling the forms. You can pause in the middle, and remember, you have to go and finish your fufu eating, come back and come and continue. Because you are sitting at home to do it. You don't have to get up and go and do anything. So when you get onto the form, you open it up, then you're filling all the details that you need to fill in, all sitting in the comfort of your home. Third step is that once you've put in all the details, you upload all your naturalization document that you have, your passport, birth certificate, anything that you have. Then you book a virtual interview. So all this, you do it in your home. You don't have to get up to go anywhere to do it. You sit in your home and do it. You book that virtual interview, train people manned by NI and the government, because it's a matter of determining, are you really a Ghanaian as you say you are? They'll go through, they are trained to ask you the necessary questions, just like you're going for a visa application. And once that is, they are okay with you and said, okay, you are who you say you are, then you book an appointment to go and do your biometrics. Now, obviously, because you have to go and do your biometrics, you have to go then in person. Then you book an appointment to go to the High Commission or wherever service provider that has been mandated to be able to capture your biometrics, for you to go and do your fingerprints, your iris, and your face, because that needs your presence. But because you've done all the forms and everything that goes with it, you are done in 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, you're done. Because all you're going to do, the process, the hard lifting has already been done. You just go to donate your biometrics and you are done. Once that is done, your biometric is captured. Your card is printed instantly. Now that's another first in the continent. The instant printing of your Ghana card. There's nothing like go and we'll mail it to you. Go and come back for it. There and then you get your card. I don't think even in the UK you get your NI card printed instant. No, you don't. It has to be mailed to you, right? The bold new normal. So what are the documents that are required? A current valid Ghanaian passport, please, not an expired Ghanaian passport. When it says current and valid, it means it's not the date is 20 or 2004. We had a lady come to us, I think her passport expired 2004 last week and wanted to use that. No, unfortunately, it doesn't work. It has to be current and valid. Your valid birth certificate as a Ghanaian or evidence of acquired citizenship. Those are the three foundational documents that are needed. And because it's a dynamic law, any other document that the NIA or the government may require down to them. But at the moment, these are the three main things. So what happens if I don't have it? That's why we have what we call the vouching process. Remember I said that you're a Ghanaian because your parent or grandparent was there. So you were born here, so you don't have a Ghanaian passport. Your birth certificate says that you were born in Wembley. So you wasn't born in Accra or Kumasi. So by saying that, but because your mother is Ghanaian, because your father is or your grandparent is, they can vouch for you. Because you already are Ghanaian, approved, and they have their Ghana card. So they can vouch for you and testify that, yes, you are Ghanaian. They will also be interviewed because they are the ones vouching for you. And then that will make it easy for you to. Just a few statistics that I just want to throw out very quickly. When we started this project, mass registration for Ghanaians started, I think, 2019 that we started. The population at the time was 18 point something. The population then was rephrased. That's 15 years and above is 19.9 million. As we speak, about 19.7 million successful registration has been done. So when you talk to people, as when we go for ID conference, they are surprised that we've achieved this level of success. We've done it. And we didn't need anyone to come and do it for us. We did it. And we are very proud of it. So I'm not shy at all when I have to put this thing down. And because you are based in the UK and you know your rights, you're always worried, what are you doing with my data? I remember when we went to Canada to talk to them, my own brother, he interrogated me as if I was a criminal. What are you doing with my data? Where are you keeping it? Who's going to see it? Where is it going? So I can tell you that all your biometric data that you provide is encrypted. The static nature of it, or when it's being transmitted, is actually protected end to end. The architecture, which I can't go through now for security reasons and all that, even when you do your biometric identification for you, there's a series of proxy walls that it needs to get through. So you actually do not even hit the back end of where the data is actually held. But let me not get into that. It will be another discussion for another time. Every verification we do, every verification has a date and time stamp on it. So at any time, you can ask for who has verified my identity. You can ask for that data. It will give you historically when it was done, who did it, the institution that did it. It's there. Nothing is read. The database and the system that we've created does not erase anything that was done. If you go back into the database now, we can tell you when you did your enrollment, when you did it, the day you did it, the time you did it, which registration officer did it. Every single thing is kept in the system. So there's an auditable trail that is there. We make sure that your identity is sacrosanct. And then it is compliance to the Ghana data protection laws, as well as the GDPR laws within the country. The data is sovereign within the confines of Ghana. We are not holding any cloud thing that Amazon can say they've seized it, or Mr. Trump can say that is now mine. It sits in Ghana. We have it. So that's what we have. And as I conclude, we are now moving into spreading this across. We are bringing it to the Ghanaians in the diaspora. We are in the process of rolling it out across all of Europe, starting from the UK. And phase 1, we did a pilot phase in some of Europe, but we are doing a real rollout in the first top 5 countries that Ministry of Foreign Affairs says is Ghanaian populated. The first of them will be in the UK. So I think by July or August, we are going to set up proper things across the length and breadth of the country. If you're in Manchester, Glasgow, Birmingham, you don't need to come to London to be able to do it. And then the second phase then will be to roll it across the whole world. When we finish, this is what it will look like. Over 170 countries, your Ghana card can be there. So that's us. Ladies and gentlemen, that's your Ghana card. It's a bold new normal, done by us, built by us, for our benefit. And thanks to our partners, the NIA and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we are ready to bring it out to you. Thank you very much, gentlemen.